This is supposed to be the happiest time of my life, I thought, and I am miserable. I always told my husband I would love to celebrate my 30th birthday with a baby on my hip, and I think that would happen. But because it is my first, I did want to get this pregnancy journal. I came home and noticed that I had a little bit of spotting. And just because you're supposed to enjoy this time of life doesn't mean that your brain is going to react a certain way. Thinking about eating anything literally turns my stomach. Hello and welcome to my first trimester vlog, which is just wild to say. I've decided I'm going to do a vlog throughout my entire first trimester, second and third, and I'm really excited because I'm just trying to soak up all of this time as much as I can. I just found out that we are pregnant. I am 99% sure that I am 4 weeks and 3 or 4 days today. I think 4 weeks, 4 days. But because I have such long cycles, I did not think I was going to get pregnant so quick. Basically, the way that my cycles work, I ovulate about half the amount that a normal, in quotation marks, person would, because my cycles are on average 60 to 70 days apart. I think I might do another video on like the whole hormone update and how I got pregnant, etc. The whole reason I mentioned my cycle length is because since my cycles are so long, when I found out I was pregnant, the day I found out, I called my OBGYN to go ahead and get an appointment, and they always ask you when was the first day of your last cycle, and it was like 8 weeks ago. And so according to them, I'm 8 weeks along, which is double what I am. And I told them the whole shebang. I told them I knew exactly when I ovulated. I knew exactly when all this happened, to my knowledge. And obviously they can't just like take my word for it. So I have an appointment next Wednesday. So it is super early. I will be 5 weeks and 3 days when I go in for, I think, what they call like the dating ultrasound or the first appointment. But I don't think they're gonna be able to see anything. I have no idea. So I'm expecting them to do like a rescan appointment once we can like nail down that I was tracking correctly. But anyways, the reason why I'm filming today is because I am telling my mom today. We were kind of gonna wait until after the appointment, but we see my mom and dad 3 or 4 times a week on average, and it is so hard to keep this from them. Then I was thinking, you know, a lot of people say you don't tell people unless you want them to know if anything goes awry, which by the way is such a fear of mine. I wake up every single night in the middle of the night with mild panic attacks thinking about this, it not going to term, and it freaks me out. And so I'm trying to just take it day by day and enjoy it. And instead of just like holding my breath through the whole first trimester, I'm going to go ahead and share our joy with the people who I am closest with and film it. So it's kind of helping me get through the anxiety too. My dad's not gonna be able to make it to dinner tonight. My husband and I were really upset because we really wanted to tell them together. So we just decided we're gonna tell my mom alone at dinner, and then after dinner, we're gonna tell my dad whenever he gets home. But I am so nervous. I have been so nervous all day. I don't know what it is. This is my first kid. It still doesn't even feel real saying I'm pregnant. I did practice today on a lady at Costco, and she was probably very uncomfortable because I did tell her that she's the first person I told. I just like word vomited all over her. But anyways, it was kind of cool to like say it, and it kind of helped me believe it, if that makes sense. This is a big moment. I'm just so nervous. Like, I know my mom's gonna be so ecstatic. My parents have been kind of hinting. They've never pushed us. We're married 4 years this October. So it's not like it is right away. It's been a long time coming. We've been together for 8 years now, but everyone's been so supportive of us waiting and enjoying our 20s. I will be 29 in September, so it's kind of perfect timing. I always told my husband I would love to celebrate my 30th birthday with a baby on my hip, and I think that would happen. Today is Tuesday. I am 5 weeks as of yesterday. It has been a whirlwind the past few days. We've told just a few of our closest family and friends. So far, I've only told the people that I see on a regular basis, just because when I'm not drinking, or if I'm getting really tired, or if I start having any symptoms, like, I want people to know. And I'm also the kind of person that if anything bad were to happen, like, I would want like my parents to know, especially, and my sister. So those are some people that we've told. We've only told 3 people so far, so it's still pretty fresh. I'm just such a planner, so I wanted to give you guys an update. So as soon as I found out that I was pregnant, like the day I found out, which was a week and a day ago, which is crazy. It's been the longest week ever. I went ahead and ordered baby books So I got this one from Dunkin' & So, and it was off Etsy, and it's baby's first year. It goes through part of your pregnancy and the baby's first year and all of their firsts and the growth chart and everything. And so I really wanted to get that, and I do hope that we have more than one kid, so I will be getting like that same kind of book for all of them. But because this is my first pregnancy and we can't plan on things, like I said, God willing, we'll have more than one pregnancy, but you just never know. But because it is my first, I did want to get this pregnancy journal. I don't know if this is something that I will get, you know, when I have another kid, because I'll be busy with the first one, and I don't really know if I will care as much, if that makes sense. So I'm being very realistic about it, but I did want to get it for my first pregnancy because I do have all the time right now, and I really want to remember what this was like, just because it's such a life-changing time. So it goes through like every week of your pregnancy, first trimester, and every single week you have how big the baby is and how you're feeling, and then a place for photos. Yesterday we went to the gym because I have been trying to go to the gym and do like what I would usually do, just not push myself as hard, because I have noticed I'm so out of breath. Like every time I go up the stairs, I'm like, I feel like I ran a marathon. My heart rate also is so high whenever I do any kind of activity. I just noticed that it gets higher really quick. But if you guys remember from my vlog, and I actually didn't know I was pregnant, and I went on a run and I complained about how my heart rate was like staying in zone 5, and I felt so like, and that's why I've been trying to take it easy. But I have still been going to the gym and doing like weightlifting, just not heavy weight, but just my normal. And so what happened is I came home and noticed that I had a little bit of spotting, and it wasn't even like blood spotting, it was just like pink discharge basically is what it looked like, but enough to freak me out. And this is the deep end, and this is me. I mean, I went straight into the deep end. I had to pray about it. I had to start journaling about it. I had to calm myself down. I did call the doctor because my appointment is tomorrow, and I did call them and let them know what I was seeing, what I did. Told them I had just gone to the gym, and they basically told me that it is very common. She said for me, unless I was like bleeding a lot, if it was like bleeding, getting heavier and progressing, then that's something they'd want to know about, but it should be okay. So just keep an eye on it. And she basically explained that your cervix can be extremely sensitive during early pregnancy, especially. So I think that's all it was. And of course I was Googling it like crazy on all of the forums. A lot of people have like actual spotting, because I wouldn't even consider what I had actual spotting. It wasn't red. It was just like I said, pink tinged discharge when I saw it. Kept an eye on it. I didn't move for the rest of the day. I'm basically on bed rest. I'm just so terrified. That was terrifying enough for me to be like, I'm really gonna take it easy for the next few weeks at least. This is the first time I've ever experienced any of this, and I feel like all I see is the fear everyone else has about miscarriages, that it puts the fear on yourself as well. And it kind of makes me want to just like not tell anyone else, but I do want like our families to know. Not that I feel like they have a right to know, but I want them to know. I want them to be aware of what we're going through. I'm just trying really hard not to let the fear be the biggest thing in my life right now. So I'm much better today. Yesterday I just took like a mental day pretty much, didn't do anything. And so, I mean, besides work, which working has actually really helped get my mind off of things, and it helps the days pass. But I feel like these next few weeks, I'm just trying to get through each day. And every day that I get through, I'm just so happy, and that's all I can do. Pregnancy has taught me how to be okay with not being in control, because ultimately, I am not in control with what happens. Today is Wednesday, and we just got back from our very first doctor's appointment. Today I am 5 weeks, 3 days, according to my calculations, and it was really cool. I think I've talked about this a little bit, but when I called my doctor when I found out I was pregnant last Monday, and she told me, okay, well, according to the day that of your last period, you would be like 8 or 9 weeks. And I told her, I know, but my cycles are very irregular and they're very long, and I know exactly the 24 to 48 hour time frame to which I ovulated, and I can tell you I'm not 9 weeks, I'm not 8 weeks, and I said at the time I was like 4 weeks. And she said, well, we're still gonna go off of your last period. So I said, okay, fine. So I made it clear. And then when I called on Monday about my little spotting issue, I told the nurse again by the way, like I have an appointment scheduled, but I just want to double check that we're going to be able to see anything, because I know I have an ultrasound scheduled and I am only like 5 weeks. And she said, according to your last period, you're like almost 9 weeks. And so I explained it all again to that girl, and she like brushed me off completely. And she wasn't very friendly about it, but she said, it does not matter what you say about your conception. We go off of the first day of your last period. And I said, I understand how you guys do it. I'm just telling you, like, I don't have. That's also in a normal cycle, which is like 28 days, which I don't have. And she said, doesn't matter, your appointment's still Wednesday. So, okay, fine. I'm not gonna argue about it, like, no big deal. I didn't get an attitude or anything. Like, I know that they can't necessarily trust me based on like what I think, you know. I'm not the medical professional here, but I will say it was kind of like, not offensive, but I was kind of like put off a little bit by the way that she brushed me off. And that was the second person who just completely brushed off my own knowledge about my own cycle. But I'm like, whatever, I'll go in and talk to my doctor about it. My doctor's not like that at all. She's very supportive of my fertility awareness method journey I've been on, and she knows all about my long cycles. Like, we've been working together for a while. So I was like, whatever, I'll come in. So I went in today not knowing what to expect. I thought I was gonna get blood work. I thought I was going to have to do like a urine test or something. I knew they were going to do an ultrasound. I thought it was gonna be like transvaginal instead of transabdominal. So I walked in and I'm wearing like a bodycon dress. And the girl who was doing my ultrasound, the ultrasound tech, I believe is what they're called, she was like, so you're 9 weeks? We have you here? And I said, well, no. And so I explained it all to her. She was shocked that neither one of the nurses had listened to me. She said, I can look at you and tell that you're not 9 weeks. She's like, I just get really confused whenever nurses don't even listen to a woman on, you know, like when she ovulated. She's like, so many women know exactly when that is. So she was kind of shocked that they still wanted her to do an ultrasound, so much so that she actually left the room to go talk to the doctor and make sure that she really needed to do an ultrasound, because she was like, we're not going to be able to see anything if you're around 5 weeks. Anyways, she did the ultrasound transabdominally. It didn't have to do transvaginally, which I was kind of thankful for. I mean, less invasive, the better. The reason I said it was really cool is because based on my calculation, my due date, like if I base it off my conception date, my due date is April 6th, and I would be 5 weeks and 3 days right now. And 5 weeks and 3 days is exactly what came up on the scan when she did the measurement. And she was like, that puts your due date at April 6th. And I just looked at Matt because he was right next to me, and I was like, I am so proud of myself. That is exactly what I thought I was. It just feels really good to know that. It's very empowering, I guess, to know that like when you put all this time and effort into your hormones and learning about your body, that it kind of pays off in a way to where you're just so aware of what's going on. So that felt really good. But anyway, so there's like no heartbeat or anything like that yet. And they also said there's no fetal pole, which I had to do a little bit of research on. So they are going to have me back. It was going to be next week, but she said if you don't mind waiting, it's probably better to wait another week. So in 2 weeks, I'm going to go back for the like heartbeat ultrasound, and where they do make sure everything is progressing as it should. And I don't have to get blood taken then either, which is really comforting. I hate getting my blood drawn. And then we also already decided that we are going to do the NIPT, I think it's called, or some kind of the testing through your blood where you can also find out gender, but you can do it as early as 9 weeks, which I was also shocked about. We're going in for that too. And so now we're thinking about like planning a really early gender reveal for just our closest friends who we're gonna like let in on this little secret, because obviously I don't really want to announce it to extended family and like all my friends. For a while. I'm just not comfortable with it, especially after my little spotting scare. There it is. It's literally just the gestational sac. Like there's not much there, but it is pretty cool to have. So hopefully all goes well. In 2 weeks we'll be able to see more, hear more, and confirm more. So it's just another 2-week waiting game. So I will be spending the next 2 weeks updating you guys on how I'm feeling. Kind of hoping I get more symptoms. I hope I don't regret saying that, but I do hope I have more symptoms, because so far I just don't have any. I'm like occasionally the slightest bit queasy. I'm starting to get a little bit more tired. Like around this time of the day I start to feel like I could take a nap, but not like dead tired. And I am wide awake till like 11 or 12 every night looking at baby stuff, and then up again at like 6 or 7. So I haven't really experienced fatigue, nausea, or any of the stuff that you're supposed to experience. Besides, my boobs are still really tender, but that's it. And they even feel better. So kind of stresses me out, but we're just gonna keep staying positive, and hopefully in 2 weeks we see a lot more. So for the next 2 weeks, I'll just be painting my little paint by number, which is keeping me really busy. It's a really good distraction. It's just helping pass the time. It's literally just skin and like my body fat. There's really nothing there. So today I'm gonna start my photos at 6 weeks. I was gonna do bi-weekly, and I'm still thinking every other week I'll take a photo, but I may want to do one every week. I haven't really decided, but Monday is when my weeks change. So I think this coming Monday I will start and I'll take a photo. And then eventually in the next like 4 to 6 weeks, I guess, we'll start seeing something. I am 7 weeks today. Baby is the size of a blueberry. And my next doctor's appointment, which should have been my first, but y'all know the story, is this coming Wednesday. So I'll be like 7 weeks and 3 or 4 days. And I'm just kind of like getting nervous again because I really hope that there's a heartbeat, everything is normal. I feel like I'm gonna have this anxiety until the baby's here, and even then it's just going to ramp up because then they're gonna be like alive, like here, like a real baby. I am wearing C bands, so if that tells you where this update is going to go. I'm just starting to feel a little bit of fatigue. I haven't really had a lot of fatigue yet, which has been really good. But occasionally, like right around like between 3 and 4, it just hits me like a ton of bricks, and I'm like, I can't handle it. And whenever it hits me, it's like I'm falling asleep. Like it hit me yesterday at my in-laws' house. We ate a little bit of dinner, and immediately I was like falling asleep at the table, like so drowsy, saying things that didn't make sense. It was weird. So that's hit a little bit, but it's really not been that bad. It's been really good. What has gotten worse is the nausea. And today is actually the worst day I've had this entire time. And I was kind of hoping to be nauseous because I think that gives you like a reassurance that there is baby. And like right now, it's kind of hard because you don't necessarily feel anything else. But man, I'm nauseous like all day. I've been wearing these C-bands. I think they help a little bit. Getting out of the house a little bit helps. But like today we went to the mall. I had to go pick up a bridesmaid dress because I am in a wedding in October, which I will be like 12 or 13 weeks. And I just had to go get it altered, and I got it altered before I found out I was pregnant. So fingers crossed that I can still wear this bridesmaid dress. I'm a little stressed about it. But the way we've been going, I definitely haven't been eating enough. I can't eat anything. Everything that I feel like fills my stomach was like Annie's cheese crackers, bagels with cream cheese, plain bagels with plain cream cheese. And that was really good. But then I ate like 3 and 4 for like 3 days in a row because that's all I could handle. And now I just don't want a bagel anymore. I've tried the Preggy drops. Those are okay. I also tried Pink Stork morning sickness ones that have B6 in them. Apparently vitamin B6 is really good. I have ginger chamomile tea. I don't want anything super flavorful. Garlic, onion, immediate no. The first aversion that I had last week was nuts. And even just thinking about them, I can't think about them. I've always hated nuts. I just recently started to like enjoy eating them, like in my late 20s. I can't even look at them. It makes me salivate. Like I can't handle nuts. I can't handle it. And it's a sick joke because we went to Trader Joe's like the week I found out I was pregnant, and I started getting a whole bunch of snacks because I was like, I'm gonna have a healthy pregnancy. I'm going to eat so healthy the whole time because I am a healthy eater. I've always eaten very healthy. We don't have processed foods in the house. Like if we do, it's a few things here and there, and that's just how I've been for so long. And I think that has a lot to do with why I'm feeling so sick, is because I've not been able to eat anything, and the only thing I can keep down, well, I haven't gotten sick. I haven't thrown up, so I'm so thankful for that. Yes, I am just so thankful for that. But I'm just constantly nauseous. Thinking about eating anything literally turns my stomach, so I can't think about what I'm gonna eat. I just have to put it in front of me and try to take a few bites and see what happens. But it's just the weirdest thing. I'm gonna be honest. I always thought pregnant people were not lying, but I didn't take them seriously. I can admit that I was wrong. I just didn't really understand how you could not make yourself eat what's good for you, I'm like, yeah, I never really crave salads in my daily life, but I still eat them because they're healthy and I'm supposed to, and like that's good for me. So I'll do the same thing when I'm pregnant. No. A bite of arugula tasted like I was eating sour dirt. And pepperoni pizza. Like I can't eat pepperoni pizza. The sauce, like tomato sauce, everything just does not taste good. Chicken noodle soup I like, but without the chicken. I can't stomach the chicken. The chicken, like the texture of chicken, drives me nuts. So I'm finding it really difficult to eat anything. Like I said, I'm just so grateful that I'm just experiencing nausea. I'd rather be nauseous all day than throw up for half the day. 100%. So I will continue dealing with this. But what I have learned is it definitely does help to get up and move around. Like the first few days I felt like this, I just laid in the bed all day because I was like, oh my God, do I have a stomach bug? I seriously thought I had a stomach bug. Told everyone at work I was sick. I wouldn't see my family because I thought I had a stomach bug. But then it just never went away. So that's how I know it wasn't a stomach bug. It was the literal bug in my stomach. That's what I call it now. Other thing is my boobs are so sore and they have already gotten a lot bigger. Like I've had it pointed out to me by friends and family that that's the first thing they noticed when they saw me. And it's not like I wear super revealing clothes. It's just like you can tell. And I'm already finding like when I go try things on, things don't fit like they used to. Some things fit better than they used to because I've always been like a small C cup. But things are really starting to get tight in that area. That's not the worst thing though. I'm okay with it. I've noticed that my hair gets really greasy really fast. So I wash it, like I washed it yesterday. And then today I have dry shampoo in it, and that's the only reason why it looks semi-clean. I go like day 2 and I have to wash it again because it just gets so greasy so fast. That's definitely new. My eyelashes and my nails have been growing like nuts, weeds. Nuts. I can't believe I said that. They've been growing like crazy, and I'm really happy about that. That's good. And I think it could be the prenatal vitamins, but I've been taking the prenatals for like 3 or 4 months before we even got pregnant, and I don't remember them growing this fast, so I think it has a lot to do with hormones, but I am here for it. I haven't been super moody, thankful for that. Basically, I've just been dealing with the nausea and the queasiness, but I'm okay with that. So that is my 6-week update. I will be 9 weeks in like 2 days. So I'm at the tail end of 8 weeks right now, and I have quite the morning lineup that I have just started to implement because I'm starting to get a lot of effects. First of all, when I wake up, I cannot lay in bed for very long because if I lay in bed too long, I will throw up. I have gotten sick twice, so not too bad. I'm very thankful for that. And thank goodness, both times I actually got sick was in the morning, so there was nothing on my stomach, so it was just bile, and I'm okay with that. I could do that. I have been taking zofran a few times just for emergencies when I feel like I'm going to throw up, and especially after I've had a meal and I feel sick, I'll take one because I just really don't want to throw up when I've eaten anything. So I'm dealing with that. I'm just constantly queasy all day, every day, and I can't eat pretty much anything. And things that I crave, I can only have a little bit of, like a few bites of it before I'm like, I'm done. A side effect of zofran and also pregnancy is constipation, and I have it. So I'm trying to make sure that since I'm not eating the same amount of vegetables that I usually eat, and I've never had this issue, because every time I put like a piece of lettuce in my mouth, it triggers my gag reflex. First, I'm going to do my seed probiotic, but I can't take this on empty stomach because I will throw up, pregnant or not, with this. I've done it before. So I'm taking my probiotics in the morning, but I'm taking it alongside of some greens powder. My doctor told me pretty much anything is fine as far as this is concerned. Definitely talk to yours. And I'm also taking this healthy fiber, which I've had since before pregnancy, and this stuff just, it's clear and it dissolves in whatever drink you have, so it's not like a brand, there's no consistency to it. So I'm having this together in 1 glass. And every single morning I have been having Ovaltine, and this is something that my mom had when she was pregnant with me. She said she had the same symptoms. She would wake up and immediately have to have a glass of Ovaltine to put something on her stomach. My aunt did the same thing because of her, and then I was like, you know what, I'm gonna carry on the tradition. But it honestly helps so much just to have something first thing in the morning, because I can't eat first thing in the morning, but this at least puts something on my stomach. And then since yesterday, I am adding in some dried prunes. So I'm gonna try to eat like 2 of them in the morning and 2 to 3 in the evening and see if that helps. Today I am 9 weeks, just hit 9 weeks today. I definitely feel it. I'm still like nauseous pretty much all the time. And I'm trying to eat just small little bits every like hour or 2. But I will say it's really hard because everything just sounds disgusting. I'm at the point where I'm just gonna force myself to just take bites of stuff even though I don't really want it, if it has some kind of health value, because I'm so sick of processed foods. I mentioned constipation, so I am still dealing with that. I did switch fibers. I showed one like last week that I was using, and I switched to Metamucil per the recommendation of my parents. And also online, I read that was like a really good one. So basically what that does is it just attracts water to your stool, makes it easier to go. And it's just, I know it, some people are like, oh, TMI, or it's weird to talk about, but it's totally normal. And I just definitely want you to feel like these are the struggles that a lot of pregnant people go through. I didn't think constipation was one of them, but turns out it's so common in pregnancy, like most common to have constipation symptoms in pregnancy. So you're not alone if you're dealing with that. I am feeling more tired than usual. I feel like the fatigue is finally coming on, but it hits especially after I eat. So like every time I eat something, I am exhausted. That's just something weird I've noticed. And I wanted to share, I think I may have already shared it before, but I got this little pregnancy journal from Etsy. It's from Duncan and Stone at Paper Co. And I am going to start this week. I've already filled out everything. And I have like my little ultrasounds and stuff in here and memories, because originally I got a bunch of like 4x6 photos of people's reactions and my reactions and all that. And they're just too big for that. And so I found out that on CVS Photo, you can go in and make a collage, and you can actually like collage all of your photos in a 4x6. And I'll share more of my scrapbook once I actually start scrapbooking. Also something really weird is I don't really know if the baby's okay. And I was telling my mom about this today, and she was like, just don't think about it like that. But it's so hard. And I'm a member of a few little like bump groups online, and it's really hard to see people say like, we lost the baby, or it stopped growing at this point. And I don't think that you ever stop being scared, but I think it's important to just focus on like the now, like what's going on right now. So my number one piece of advice is to just stay off the internet, because I'm not anxious when I don't see stuff like that, but then whenever I see a lot of that, I get really anxious. So I'm trying to remember that whatever's going to happen is going to happen. It's not in my control, and I'm blessed to have made it this far, and hopefully we can make it all the way. And I'm just going to keep thinking about that. So we did also schedule our gender reveal. So we're going to be doing a small gender reveal with family. It will be my second trimester, which my first trimester is over in October. Thank God. Like October 1st starts my second trimester, and I'm so excited. I really hope that all of this nausea and food aversions like go away by the second trimester. I don't really know how many more weeks of this I can take, to be honest. I know it's dramatic, but it's really freaking hard. Right now, my entire chest cavity and my entire back is sore from throwing up so violently the other night. I stayed up a little bit too late. I think that's the other thing I've noticed is I'll get really sick first thing in the morning if I haven't eaten, but I also get really nauseous at night, like a few hours after dinner. And so I need to just start going to bed earlier, because if I'm asleep, I usually will wake up feeling nauseous, but I can go back to sleep pretty easy. And it's not like that bad. But if I'm awake and then I brush my teeth, brushing my teeth is so hard because that gag reflex kicks in, and I'll throw up everything. And that's what happened. I threw up all over the bathroom, all over myself. It was gruesome. It was traumatic. I choked on my own vomit. I thought I was going to die. I'm not being dramatic. I'm being dead serious. So I'm really trying hard not to make that happen again. So anyways, next week we're going to the beach. And then right after that I have my friend's bachelorette party. So I don't think I'm going to be giving another update until I get back from her bachelorette party, because then we'll be going in for the genetic testing. So I'm probably not going to give an update until then, because I'm trying to keep this video pretty succinct. Basically, I don't have any new symptoms except my nausea, food aversions, and constipation. So that's it. Oh, my boobs are still really sore. They're definitely getting bigger. I did have to buy new bras from Aerie, and they should be here in the mail this week. It's going by really fast. I am 11 weeks and 1 day today. I was gonna wait and do a little update tomorrow, because tomorrow is actually my NIPT test. It's like the genetic testing where you also find out the gender, and they take a good amount of blood. I don't know much else about the appointment, but I have been thinking about switching doctors. So I have an OBGYN right now, and I think she's awesome. I feel like she doesn't offer up the information. I have to kind of ask for it, which is fine, but for a first time mom, like, this is my first pregnancy, I don't know what to expect. I have anxiety. I just want someone who like listens to my needs more. And so I'm really excited, because I'm going to tell one of my cousins who lives locally, who just had a baby last year. And I'm so excited to tell her, because I really want to pick her brain, because I think she used a midwife and I'm kind of interested in doing that, but I haven't really decided yet. But it's getting down to the wire where I kind of need to decide. This is funny because this is what week 9 feels like. Did I already talk about week 9? I don't even remember. But these are pictures of me on week 9 if I didn't already update them. Like, week 9 was miserable. So week 10 last week, I was actually at the beach all week for a family vacation, and then I went straight from the beach to a bachelorette party, which, thank goodness, one other girl in this bachelorette party group, one of the bridesmaids, is also pregnant. She's like a few weeks behind me. So we were both just like commiserating, and it was really nice to have support and someone who really understands just how hard it is to like be in your first trimester. I popped a lot of zofran last week. I'm just not a big medicine lover, and I know that it helps, and so obviously I used it all week because I was pretty miserable. But when I'm at home, I'm trying really hard not to use it. And again, I'm so thankful that I get to work from home. A teeny little bump date. This is mostly like bloat, I think, but there is like something there, and I can kind of tell. I just started like permanently having a little bump, especially in the mornings. Like when I first wake up and my stomach is very flat, I still have a little bit of a bump at the very bottom, and that just started happening like at the end of last week. It's just the past few days I've noticed that I like consistently have that, and it's not just 100% bloating. I know most of it is right now, but I can feel something like right above my pelvic bone, and I feel like that's where your uterus is. I think right now your uterus is the size of like a grapefruit when it's originally the size of a fist. I still have to remind myself that I'm pregnant, less so because I'm starting to feel bad again. But when we were at the beach, I had a few days where I felt okay, and especially just this past weekend, like after the bachelorette party. After the bachelorette party, I started to feel better, and I really thought that I was going to be on the up, like not being super sick every day. But today and yesterday has been really bad. I've gotten sick again and like thrown up again, and it's just all day nausea no matter what, and everything that I try to eat, I just gag. So I'm hoping I'm still on the downswing of all the symptoms and they'll eventually go away pretty soon. But I'm only 11 weeks, so I know I realistically probably have a few more weeks left of that feeling. But I hope not. So I really have no shame, because I film my YouTube videos like this and I post them online for all to see. But this is just normal life. I literally never wear makeup anymore. I have a breakout because I was in a friend's wedding last weekend and we got our makeup done, and I knew it was gonna happen, but as soon as I came home after wearing it for 12 hours, just like my cheeks were kind of broken out, just like clogged pores. So this is the one that's just not doing too good. But I am officially in my second trimester. I am 14 weeks and 2 days. So I wanted to go ahead and close out my first trimester vlog recap video, just because I'm out of the first trimester, which is crazy. So I just did my first workout since 5 weeks. If you guys remember, at 5 weeks, yeah, you know, some people like would really do something to themselves before filming for YouTube, but not me, apparently. Anyways, I went to the gym in the morning at 5 weeks. I came home and had spotting. It wasn't a lot, but it was enough to kind of freak me out, and I put myself on bed rest basically, like did not do anything active. And then a few weeks ago, I just started walking a little bit like a few days a week. So it's honestly been an adjustment, and I think it has a lot to do with my mental state lately, which I will talk about. My cousin recently had her first baby, and she showed me some YouTube videos and channels that she used, and she worked out, did yoga and workouts like most of the days in her pregnancy, and said it made all the difference in the world compared to her friends who didn't work out. And I've always known I wanted to have an active pregnancy, but I did not know that my first trimester was going to be just this awful, and I did not know that I was going to have spotting. My doctor kind of agreed with me and said rest is totally fine if I'm having symptoms like that. So the first YouTube channel, I've actually done her workouts before, but it is Sydney Cummings Howdy Show, I believe is how you say her name, and she has a playlist on YouTube. It's called My Pregnancy Workout Journey, and she walks you through her first trimester workouts, second trimester workouts, and third trimester workouts. So I started with the second trimester workouts, and I'm not going to be able to walk, I can tell you that much. The other one is Pregnancy and Postpartum TV. That's what the channel is called. This one has a lot more like low impact and yoga based workouts, and then a lot of videos just about pregnancy and postpartum in general. So I highly recommend those two channels. So next, I did want to talk about my mental state because I haven't filmed much of an update in the past probably week or two. And that is because I have just felt honestly, I felt depressed. Unmotivated, but mainly just depressed. Like when I wake up in the mornings, I try to make myself go back to sleep because I feel like it's sometimes easier to be unconscious than how I feel during the day. I have been really sick, but I have not been throwing up all day. So I know I could have it so much worse, but it is still so hard to feel, just the way that you do in first trimester all the time, especially when it's just no breaks. And I've had a good few days here and there, but it's been 14 weeks of this. Well, let's see. They get started around week 6. So it's been 2 months, 8 weeks, 2 months straight of feeling like this. I watched a TikTok video of this other girl who was also in her first trimester, and she was like, pregnancy is just the best thing ever. I wake up every morning and I'm so overjoyed, and all day I'm just so happy and so full of joy. And it made me cry because I was like, how come I don't feel that way? This is supposed to be the happiest time of my life, I thought, and I am miserable. I'm trying not to be dramatic, but I'm just saying it is okay if you also feel depressed, moody, not yourself, freaked out in general that you're about to have a baby. And like I said, I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that I haven't been working out because I was scared to, and that's a big part of who I am, and that's a big part of my mental sanity is staying active. The one time that I had a panic attack was whenever I hurt both of my ankles and I couldn't work out for weeks, and I had a panic attack. And I think a lot of it has to do with just regulating your mood in other ways. And so I should have tried meditating. I should have tried stretching more and listening to more podcasts, and I just didn't. I think I just totally neglected my mental health during this whole first trimester, and it led to me not feeling any kind of connection to my baby, which I know a lot of people don't, and it's hard because I don't feel anything. And I didn't really feel anything at all for it until I saw the ultrasound where it was dancing around. And I still don't know what it is. Actually, we find out this Sunday. So you'll find out in my second trimester vlog. I don't know what it is. It's been a journey. And I'm so lucky that I've had my husband and my mom and my family to lean on for support. But it's been a really rough first trimester. It's nothing like I thought it was going to be. I can't eat. I throw up my breakfast all the time. I've thrown up my dinner multiple times. I throw up almost every day now. I think 9 to 12 has been the worst, and it's still pretty bad. So far, I've lost 15 pounds because I was not able to eat, and I was snacking all day every day to try to make my nausea go away, but I could not keep anything down. I wasn't eating full meals. I take a few bites of something and I'm just stuffed, disgustingly full. My doctor said that it's okay, but they're definitely keeping their eye on me. We do have a scale at home, and my husband has been tracking my weight to make sure that I'm gaining. And anytime that I feel good, I'm just trying to eat whatever I can, everything I can. I'm really trying to gain the weight back because it stresses me out losing that much weight that fast. So if that gives you any indicator of how I've been feeling, I lost 15 pounds. So I'm on the journey of getting that back, and I do feel better already just from having one workout. In summary, Nausea is really bad. Morning sickness is not morning sickness. Morning sickness is all day sickness. I don't know why they still call it morning sickness. In fact, for me, it was worse in the evenings. Around dinner time was the worst time. When I wake up, I have to immediately put something on my stomach. I have been choosing Chobani Complete drinks. I've been having like 1 or 2 of those a day because it's a complete protein in there and it's really, really good for you. 20 grams of protein, and it tastes really good, and they're super easy to drink first thing in the morning with morning breath. And so we have a little cooler with ice packs that my husband fills up for me every night. And then in the middle of the night when I pee, or in the mornings, I have that there and I immediately drink it. Personally, when I drink that in the morning, all it does is make me throw up later in the day, like after breakfast. Versus if I don't eat anything in the morning and I go ahead and throw up like bile, it's so much easier, and then I feel fine the rest of the day. I mean, like, you know, I don't throw up the rest of the day for the most part. I haven't had a lot of headaches. I really haven't had that much fatigue, which has been really weird. I do have occasional fatigue, like where I'm just like dead, but I've only taken like 1 or 2 naps, and I work from home, so I have the ability to take a nap if I want to. But I haven't felt the need to, which has been pretty good. I definitely haven't had energy. I've been pretty unmotivated, but I think mainly just the mental aspect of being newly pregnancy is something that I don't hear a lot of people talk about. I hear them talk about how excited they are and how great it is, and I am excited, I am happy, I do feel blessed. I'm so overjoyed most of the time, or I would say maybe like a third of the time, maybe a half to a third of the time. The rest of the first trimester, I've just felt really depressed, and I'm just being honest about that. Everyone's different. This is just my pregnancy. It's my first one. One last thing on depression. There is something called an Edinburgh postnatal, I think, depression survey. But if you Google prenatal depression, you'll find a link to the survey. I took it and my score was like a 22 out of 30, likely depression. But then within 2 or 3 days, I snapped out of it. And so I think I was just having a really hard time mentally for a few days. I think I was just having a mood swing. But it is something that I am telling my... Oh, another big update. I switched from an OBGYN to a midwife within an OBGYN practice. But anyways, depression is something that I am going to be talking to my midwife about. I have my first appointment with my new midwife next week, and I will be mentioning that to her. I've kept my husband in the loop. I've kept my mom in the loop. Like, they know what's going on. I am so concerned about postpartum depression. To be 100% honest, having a baby in the spring, which is when we're due, was kind of planned and was ideal for me, because I don't want to have a baby and then fall into depression like in January. I don't know if that makes sense. I feel like it's going to be easier for me in the spring. It may not. I don't think it has anything to do with that, but I'm just like, that's just how scared I am of having it, because I do have a history of depression, anxiety, and all that. Make sure not to overlook your symptoms as just hormonal changes and mood swings. So many women do that. I was doing it, and I almost didn't say anything to anybody, but I want to make sure that everyone knows that I think I started to experience depression, like not just a mood swing for a few days, but true depression throughout my first trimester. And I want people to be aware of that, and you should too. Talk to someone, tell your doctor, tell your care provider, tell your partner, your mom, your dad, whoever, if you think that you have depression. I think it's so serious. It shouldn't be taken lightly. It is common, unfortunately, but don't feel ashamed, don't feel scared. Just because you're supposed to enjoy this time of life doesn't mean that your brain is going to react a certain way. Okay, on to better things. I wanted to talk about some books that I got. First, I'm gonna start with the 2 that my husband got from his friend, and he really enjoyed reading them. So the first one is We're Pregnant. He liked this one, okay? And then this one is really funny. It's called Dude, You're Gonna Be a Dad. She's pregnant, time to man up. It's funny. We both enjoyed reading this one. And then we also got recommended this book. All these books I was recommended by other friends who have babies. This is the Moms on Call. We specifically got the 6 to 12 month one. No, we specifically got the 0 to 6 month one. And it's been so helpful already, just like learning. I think it comes in handy a lot more when you have a baby with you, but pre-reading and kind of understanding what you can do, what your options are if you need them, has been really helpful. I obviously had to get the What to Expect When You're Expecting. This is the version that I got. It's okay. It's okay. I have the What to Expect app on my phone, and a lot of this stuff is word for word. There's definitely a lot more information in here, especially considering like the labor information in here and all of that, but I haven't enjoyed it as much as I thought I would. I am almost finished with this. This is the Mama Natural, which apparently is a really popular YouTube video. I've never even seen her videos. I need to subscribe to her and look, but I did buy her book and I have loved this one. It gives a lot of great information on just doing things like the more natural way. Not just birth, but also just pregnancy in general. 4 books that I have not started reading yet. This first one is Nurture. This has great reviews on Amazon. It is a modern woman's guide to pregnancy, birth, early motherhood, and trusting yourself and your body. It's written by a birth and postpartum doula. And then I got 3 books all on natural childbirth. I don't know what my birth plan's gonna be yet, but I'm doing a lot of thinking about it, and I'm kind of leaning towards trying not to have an epidural, but I'm very open. I'm not gonna say no epidural and must be this way. Very open, but I do find it interesting, society's opinions on epidurals and natural birth. And when I say natural, I mean unmedicated, like any birth is natural, but I learned that from these books too. So a note on these books, I bought all 3 of these used from Amazon. Whenever you look up the books on Amazon, you can click use, like other options. Each book was literally $3 to $5. Some of them I paid like $2 or $3 shipping for, but that's a good way to save money when you're buying all these books, because it can add up and you don't need a brand new book. They're all in good condition. So the first one is, that's why they look used. I wanted to tell you that. First one is Your Baby, Your Birth. Second one is the Hypnobirthing book. I do not think I'm going to be able to do like true hypnobirthing, but I do want to read about it and read about natural birth unmedicated. So, and the last one is Ina May's Guide to Childbirth. I've heard great things about this one, so I'm excited to read that one too. And the very last thing I want to share is my pregnancy journal. I think I shared this earlier, but I have been working on it. So like for example, this was the beginning, and so I printed out photos of me and my husband and loved ones finding out, and then put them in here kind of like a scrapbook, and I just wanted to have fun with it. Like I just wanted it to be fun. I love this page. This is week 4, like when I first found out and told my parents, which by the way, I just realized I told them at week 4. I did not realize I told them that early. If anything, it's just helped me stay excited for each week and feel like I'm keeping a record. So last part of the entire video, a little bump date. This is me sucking in. It's definitely here. It's actually like right here. I can really feel it. Yeah, you can tell. The one thing that I hope you get out of this is not to compare your pregnancy with anybody else's online pregnancy. I've made that mistake. I hope you know that mental health is very important. I hope you take comfort in resting, surviving. I think the first trimester, so many moms like myself, you're just surviving, literally surviving, not thriving. Whether that means you're eating salt and vinegar chips, which has been my biggest craving, for like every meal. You know, you have to do what you have to do, and the one thing I've had to do is relinquish the control and do what I can just to stay alive. So yeah, I hope that this has been helpful. I hope it's been at least somewhat entertaining to watch. Hope it hasn't been too boring me blabbing along, but I will see you guys in my second trimester recap. Bye.